Hi, I'm Mario Guerra, the two-time former mayor of the great city of Downey. You're listening to Talking Downey with Mario Guerra. We have a special election in the city of Downey coming up right now in 2 weeks from today. We're taping this on Tuesday. We have one, they're both special recall elections, or they're both special elections, one for District 1 in Southeast Downey to replace Assemblymember Blanca Pacheco. We have one in Northwest Downey, District 3, to replace the recalled and disgraced Catherine Alvarez. So last time, our city of Downey kind of, didn't do their due diligence on there, and of course elected Catherine Alvarez. And then we had to do a recall, which cost a lot of money, a lot of effort, and a lot of people's time. And because of that, on there, people were saying, how does she ever get elected? And nobody really did a checking on the candidates from a nonpartisan standpoint. So people saying we can't let that happen to Downey. So we took it upon ourselves in Talking Downey to make sure that we kind of vet the candidates a little bit better, at least let you know and you make informed decisions. We've already given you who we think and who we're supporting, for a lack of a better way. But we thought one of the things you should know is how much money they received and from who. That says a lot, okay? So today we're going to focus our efforts on District 1. That is Southeast Downey. Southeast Downey. There's three candidates in that race. There's Ramon Casas, there's Elvira Miraz, and there's Horacio Ortiz. So what I have in front of me are called the 460 forms, okay? So these are what legally you have to file. You have to report the campaign committee. You have to report how much money you brought in, not only for the quarter, but for the campaign to date kind of thing. This is punishable by the FPPC, and it's punishable from a standpoint that you cannot lie. The bank accounts have to match. It's a totally transparency and disclosure. You can't hide who gives you money. For example, if I give Bill Smith $100 and I say, give that $100 to Tom Smith on there in his election, and it goes under Bill Smith's name, I violated the law. Number one, I did, and they did if they knew about it. I can't hide who I am because there's campaign contribution limits and so forth. So it's really important that this is done accurate, fairly, and transparently. So what I want to do is go through each one. This is the new filing period that just happened from 7/1 to 9/23. There's another one due next week, and anybody that gets $1,000, a check for $1,000 has to be reported within 24 hours. So if one of the candidates got a $1,000 check from anybody, they have to, within 24 hours, report it to the Downey City Clerk and amend and do a 460 form. So these are what they look like. It's very common in political worlds. This is the California form 460. So let's just go through the three candidates. I want to keep this as short as possible, but I want to make sure we're all informed on who's giving money and how much they're raising. So the first person, Horacio Ortiz. Okay, so Horacio Ortiz is, in this period, he raised $11,900, and total raise is $58,807. So there is a $10,100 loan that he has given him to himself, and he currently has $27,000 in the bank. So he's raised $11,900 this period here. So how did this 11.9 come from? Okay, so there's out of Downey. Okay, I've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's been 11, and 12. Okay, from the city of Downey coming up. Out of the total, there's 34 totals and 13 from outside the city of Downey. And it's kind of interesting to see. Here's, people that say they're competitors of them, but obviously people in the restaurant business know. So here's Green Olive, Mediterranean cuisine, which we all know and love. They gave $1,000 to Maxim. Don Chente gave $1,000. There's the Ed Rosenberger Trust, well known here in the city of Downey. They gave $500. let's look at the $500. $500, George Villa here in Downey. He's the property manager here and the right hand for Raul Portos. And I think he's known the family really well. There's a lot of little $100 checks I see throughout. There's Jesus Torres, gave $100 to him. Downey, that's a $250 retired. Maria Villanuevas. Here's a $900 one, Oswald Gomez. He's self-employed. LA County social worker, $300. This is all public record, by the way. So a couple mortgage lenders. Here's a $500 one from Huntington Park. Here's a $500 one from Ventura. Here's a $1,000 one for another Don Chentes outside the city. Friendly Flowers gave $100. So that gives you the flavor. Altogether, there's 34 contributions, 13 from outside the city of Downey, came out to $11,900. Total raise $58,000. So that's Horacio Ortiz, and that's one. The next one we'll hear, let's do this one quickly. This is Ramon Casas Jr. Ramon Casas Jr., he just filled out the short form because he hasn't spent any money and he hasn't raised any money. You still have to verify this under the campaign under penalty of perjury. So he didn't raise any money. And that's called the 470 form instead of the 460 form. So here's Elvira Meraz. So Elvira Meraz on there, and I don't want to discredit her. I believe it's Meraz. Elvira Meraz. So I want to make sure that I honor her name and respect it. So she raised $12,850 this quarter, total of $22,275. $12,850 this quarter, 20 out of $22,000. So more than half on that she received this quarter. So let's look at this. Out of the 15 people that she got, so she's got Kirk Cartosian for $1,000. Gaucho Grill from Pasadena, that's owned by Kirk Cartosian, for another $1,000. Gaucho Grill West Covina for another $1,000. That's also owned by Kirk Cartosian. Gaucho Beach, that's $1,000. That's also a part of Mr. Cartosian's domain. Ernest Properties LLC on there is $1,000. That has the same address as Mr. Cartosian, so I think it's another subsidiary of his. And there's nothing illegal on there; you just have a lot of subsidiaries. Buena Park Restaurant Group, there's another $1,000. That's part of the Mr. Cartosian's empire for restaurant. Gaucho Grill Downey for $1,000. Senor 1477, that's also at 10848 Paramount Boulevard. That is Mr. Cartosian's address, so that's another subsidiary. His brother, Craig Cartosian, very nice guy, donated $500. He's Tequila Mandala partner with them. So there's a couple, $200 of Mike Murray, Brian Chambers, $150. Jim Rodriguez gave $1,000, a property manager. Greg Welsh and Michael Persisi from Santa Ana. Greg Welch is from Seal Beach, but he's involved here in the city. So that's it. Out of those, so you basically had 9.5, if you count his brother, almost 10 out of the 15 items that were donated all came from Mr. Cartosian. And I've known him for a long time. We used to be great friends. It's just a little weird that there's that many donations. There's not that many donations total. I've never given a candidate that much money on there. But anyways, so out of the $12,850, $9,000 of it, I think it's Mr. Cartosian or his subsidiaries, if you will, perfectly legal to do. And then you also had, she's only raised $22,000, and Mr. Cartosian and friends did at least half of it. So those are it for District 1. Okay, Horacio Ortiz, Elvira Meraz, and Ramon Casas Jr. So I hope that you do your homework on them. Go to their websites, check them out, see who's done what, and make sure that you make informed decisions. I think it's important for Downey residents. Folks, we can't afford another recall. This is too important. It's going to be a low voter turnout. So I encourage everyone to look at these type of things, look at their record, look who's involved. Did they just come into the city in the last 12 months? Were they here last year? Were any of them involved in the city before 2023? Those are the decisions you're going to have to make. So thank you for listening, for watching this episode of Talking Downey with Mario Guerra.